Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network Limited. We broadcast from our studios at 14 Ocean Boulevard in the Digicel Center, downtown Kingston, Jamaica, transmitting on the FM 90 band, 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne, serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, RevoNews.ai and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock. From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning. A very good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Thursday, February 5, 2026. Remittance flows into the country jumped by 14% in November 2025. Health Ministry says bed capacity at hospitals in Melissa-hit parishes is down to 58%. Leptospirosis cases top 150. In regional news, a former NBA star joins opposition FNM slate ahead of Bahamas election. In international news, the last U.S.-Russia nuclear pact expires today, Thursday. In sports, Mount Pleasant Academy beat Cavalier 1-0 in rescheduled JPL game on Wednesday. And in business, U.S. launches trade zone to tackle China's dominance of critical minerals market. The details after the break.
Every day, Jamaicans have something to say. In the group chats, on social media, in the streets, there's a place where it all comes together. The comment section. This is not a lecture. This is not a call-in show. This is the hottest topics of the day, filtered through real opinions, real WhatsApp messages, real voice notes, real reactions. You agree, disagree, sound off, text it, voice note it, debate it. Comments section, Monday to Friday from 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Jamaica recorded a 14% increase in net remittance inflows in November of last year. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's latest remittance bulletin. Siobhan Campbell reports.
The 14% increase represents an inflow of $281.2 million US dollars. That's $35.1 million US dollars more compared with November 2024. The improvement was driven primarily by higher total remittance inflows, which rose by 14.3% or $38.1 million US dollars during the month. This gain was partly offset by an increase in remittance outflows of 15.3% or $3 million US dollars. The BOJ says the rise in inflows was attributed mainly to stronger receipts through the remittance company's channel, but a marginal decline was recorded in flows via the other remittances channel. For the fiscal year to date, 2025, net remittance inflows amounted to $2,170 million US dollars. That reflects an increase of 2.8% or $58.2 million US dollars relative to the corresponding period of the previous fiscal year. Data from November 2025 shows that remittance inflows increased across all major source corridors. The United States of America remained Jamaica's dominant source market, accounting for 66.9% of total inflows. Still, this represented a slight decline from 67.9% recorded in November 2024. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The beds available at hospitals in parishes worst affected by Hurricane Melissa has reduced to 58% of pre-Melissa levels. That figure was provided by Director of Emergency Disaster Management and Special Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Nicole Dawkins-Wright. She was speaking on day one of the National Health Research Conference on Wednesday.
As of today, if we were to use numbers and metrics, hospital bed capacity in high-impact areas in the 5 high-impact parishes is at 58% in terms of what we are functioning with in those areas. Number of operable primary care facilities infrastructure accounts for 65%. Many of persons are having challenges moving around, even to come outside of their locale, because the local roads are still having challenges. And so this number, as much as it speaks by itself, it's probably even less, because the matter of access for people coming to the facilities is still a challenge.
According to Dr. Dawkins-Wright, the 5 high-impact parishes are St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, Hanover, Westmoreland, and St. James. She says the functional bed capacity at Black River Hospital is at 25%. It's the lowest level among healthcare facilities. Dr. Dawkins-Wright also gave a breakout of bed capacity across the regional health authorities.
Falmouth is still functioning 45%. SAV, the number reported is 100% in terms of capacity. Noel Home Hospital, 60%. Cornwall Regional, I think most persons know by now that we are speaking of 60%, but it was already stretched from before. Primary care facilities in both Southern Region and Western Region, as mentioned, still remains at 65% between the first check at day 40 and today at day 100.
Dr. Nicole Dawkins-Wright, Director of Emergency Disaster Management and Special Services. Meanwhile, Dr. Dawkins-Wright says the number of suspected cases of leptospirosis has increased to over 150. She made the disclosure while providing statistics on the human impact of Hurricane Melissa.
The 45 deaths initially at our spotlight time, which is January 31st, that number hasn't changed. But the official figures may change come next year, thereabout, when the final figures are put in the official documentary, because we still have 32 persons under investigation and 13 persons who we have not yet accounted for. So we're at 158 in terms of leptospirosis cases. The numbers for displaced households haven't changed, fortunately. Power is coming back nicely. We're down to single digits, and therefore it also means that water and almost everything else in terms of structures are also coming back up.
Dr. Nicole Dawkins-Wright, Director of Emergency Disaster Management and Special Services. The Integrity Commission says it has implemented a monitoring framework to strengthen oversight of government procurement related to Hurricane Melissa. The Commission made the announcement in a statement on Wednesday. It says the framework's primary objectives are to monitor the award and implementation of hurricane-related government contracts and conduct post-contract audits of contracts awarded under emergency procurement arrangements. The Commission says it will similarly assess the use of public, donor, and relief resources during the recovery period. It says that the framework focuses on the government's immediate and short-term recovery spending, especially in circumstances where procurement rules were relaxed to facilitate urgent response, restoration, and reconstruction. Through this process, the Commission will identify potential red flags, assess risk areas, and evaluate the effectiveness of emergency procurement measures. Where breaches or irregularities are detected, the Commission says it will investigate to determine the appropriate course of action. A tense moment unfolded in the Supreme Court on Wednesday as one of the accused men in the Klansman gang trial used his hands to imitate a gun, pointed it at the prosecution's first witness, and made a bow sound as if firing a gunshot. The man made the threatening gesture while being led out of the courtroom. This was shortly after the prosecution called its first witness in the ongoing trial involving alleged gang leader Tesha Miller and 24 co-accused charged under the anti-gang legislation. Robin Williams witnessed the moment and has this report.
It was an unexpected moment that startled everyone who heard it. One of the 25 accused in the Klansman gang trial was being led out of the courtroom following the day's proceedings. He was handcuffed to another defendant. The witness, a detective corporal, had just completed giving evidence for the day and was waiting in the hallway of the court. The defendant held his hand up, imitating a gun, pointed it at the policeman, and shouted, "Bo!" Everyone turned in that direction and looked. The defendant was then led down to the holding area. The policeman stood and laughed, then muttered, "That's a threat." Back in the courtroom, the detective corporal testified that on March 5, 2023, at about 4:30 a.m., he and a team of approximately 20 police personnel were briefed on an operation to be carried out in an area of Spanish Town, St. Catherine. They proceeded to a premises with a search warrant. The witness said he was assigned to the cordon team tasked with securing the outside of the property while a breach team entered the house. He told the court he heard police announcing themselves and stating that they had a warrant but received no response. Sometime later, he heard that one man had been found inside. While positioned at the back of the building, he said he heard a motor vehicle arrive at the front and saw 3 men exit. As he prepared to alert colleagues inside, another vehicle arrived behind the first. He testified that 2 of the men entered the yard and were shouting, "Ripper!" When the second vehicle arrived, which turned out to be members of his team, the 2 men ran toward the back of the building in their direction. The witness said, "I made myself visible and I shouted, 'Police!' adding that one of the men was holding a firearm. He told the court that the man raised the hand holding the gun, prompting him to fire his service pistol. The second man managed to run past him, but another policeman engaged that individual. That man escaped over a fence at the rear of the property. The witness said the man he fired at fell to the ground. A firearm was allegedly retrieved from the injured man, who was later taken to hospital in a service vehicle. The witness also testified that he later encountered another man at the front of the premises who identified himself as Bijan Thomas, otherwise called BJ, and he said he was a truck driver. In court, the witness identified Thomas among the accused in the dock. The trial is scheduled to resume on Thursday morning at 10. Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
The House of Representatives has passed legislation to increase the stipend paid to Jamaicans who serve as jurors. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck piloted the bill through the lower house and separated it from other amendments to the Jury Act.
The bill itself, Madam Speaker, dealt with 2 issues, the increase in the fees and the widening of the fees to jurors who are called to serve, and also the matter of jury tampering before and during the trial. Madam Speaker, a number of concerns were raised, and it seemed to me, even though I've tried to remedy a number of the concerns raised in relation to jury tampering, it still needs a bit of tweaking. So I've decided that we're only proceeding with the increase in the fees.
With the passage of the legislation, the stipend paid to jurors will be increased from $2,000 to $6,000 for each day or any part of a day that they serve on a jury. This seeks to incentivize Jamaicans to serve as jurors, following well-published concerns over the shallow jury pool plaguing the justice system. The aspect of legislation covering jury tampering was flagged by the opposition, who believed it would benefit from the input of the public. Minister Chuck says that issue will go to a Joint Select Committee to be addressed.
At the Joint Select Committee on the Jury Act, I would like the first order of business to deal with jury tampering. And we can finalize that, what we have here and what is would have been proposed today, but I decided we will do it when we set up the Joint Select Committee.
Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. The bill passed with 8 amendments and is now on its way to the Senate. The Ministry of Education has issued a bulletin ordering school administrators to relax dress code rules and allow students to wear warm jackets amid the cold weather being experienced across the country. The bulletin was issued late on Wednesday by Chief Education Officer Terrion Thomas Gale. It comes amid reports of at least one school in St. Catherine which confiscated jackets from students which were not those branded for the school. In its bulletin, the ministry says students should be allowed to wear comfortable jackets, including those that are not part of the standard school uniform but are suitable for cold weather. It says it's important that all students are safe and comfortable, especially as the weather can affect concentration and overall well-being. The Education Ministry says school administrators should bear in mind that some students may have existing health conditions that the colder weather could exacerbate. It's asking them to be observant and attentive to these students, ensuring they have what they need to remain warm and comfortable. The ministry also advises schools to help keep students warm during lunch by including warm beverages or soups as part of their meal offerings. In addition, the ministry says it recommends that schools allow for more frequent bathroom breaks. Farmers across parts of St. Elizabeth and Manchester will now benefit from stronger support for irrigation and agricultural production with the official opening of the Essex Valley Agro-Processing Facility. The large-scale agricultural and rural development initiative forms part of the government's plan to boost agricultural productivity, strengthen food security, and support climate-resilient farming in Jamaica. Speaking at the opening ceremony in St. Elizabeth on Wednesday, Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says the facility includes storage capacity for farmers.
Our agro-processing facility with 624,000 square feet of land, and that can store up to 17,000 kilograms of agricultural produce weekly. But it's not only for storage. It is equipped so that it can process what we grow into juices, purees, and concentrates. It is equipped so that things can be washed, graded, and sorted. What we're doing with storage is to ensure that we have a consistent supply.
The Essex Valley program also involves the development of irrigation and farm road infrastructure. Overall, Minister Green says the project is about 90% complete. He says the final pieces of equipment are en route to Jamaica to complete the irrigation aspect. The Agriculture Minister says that the government is committed to building more facilities like these across the country.
This is just one in a series of cold storage initiatives. We already broke ground for the 123 million cold storage facility in Kirkvine. We are going to move to ensure that in all our productive zones, we have facilities of this nature so that our farmers all over Jamaica will be able to invest and get the returns on their investment, and that our consumers will always have high quality Jamaican food.
Floyd Green, Agriculture Minister. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Where music is played, copyright owners must be paid. This time signal is brought to you by Jamaica Music Society. The time by Jams is
6:18.
Not every youth in the ghetto takes up a gun and becomes a criminal. Why should the good ones who don't do it, who are the majority, 95% of them, suffer for the 5% that do? Until our society stands up in unison and say no more of this, we will be just. We will provide you with the opportunities that you are properly integrated into society, but there will be firm consequences for you if you decide to pursue a life of crime and deprive everybody else of their safety.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
In regional Regional and international news this morning. Regional news, former NBA star Rick Fox has been formally ratified as a candidate for the Free National Movement in the next Bahamian general election. He was among 12 candidates ratified, bringing the party's slate to 39. The election is due by September this year. Fox says his decision to enter politics was motivated by the struggles facing Bahamians, experiences he claims he has lived firsthand. He revealed that his 3-year contract as an ambassador at large, a government-appointed diplomatic role, was not renewed when it expired in 2024. Fox has frequently used social media to call for political reform, transparency, and national development in the country. International, the last remaining nuclear arms pact between Russia and the United States expires today, Thursday, removing any caps on the two largest atomic arsenals for the first time in more than half a century. The termination of the New START treaty could set the stage for what many fear could be an unconstrained nuclear arms race. Russian President Vladimir Putin last year declared readiness to stick to the treaty's limits for another year if Washington follows suit. But U.S. President Donald Trump has been non-committal about extending it. He has indicated that he wants China to be a part of it, a push Beijing has rebuffed. Putin discussed the pact's expiration with Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Wednesday. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Thursday that Moscow views the expiration of the treaty negatively and regrets it. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
The news cycle doesn't end on Friday. It needs perspective. That's why every Sunday at midday, Nationwide 90 FM presents The Week That Was. A clear, informed review of the top stories that shaped the past week, what really mattered and what lies ahead. No noise, no theatrics, just analysis, context, and clarity. The Week That Was. Sundays at 12 noon with a repeat at 6:30 p.m. Understand the news before the week begins. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Now for your morning sports. Mount Pleasant Academy climbed into third spot in the Red Nephew Jamaica Premier League after beating champions Cavalier 1-0 in a rescheduled game at Stadium East on Wednesday. Gadale Irving scored the winner on 27 minutes. Mount Pleasant, who have 3 games in hand, are now on 36 points, 2 behind second place Racing United and 9 behind leaders Montego Bay United. They climbed to third in the standings, 2 points behind second place Racing United and 9 behind leaders Montego Bay United. Cavalier remain 8th in the table. The league continues later on Thursday with the Dumby Holden hosting Spanish Town Police in another rescheduled game at the Dumby Holden complex. Now, Jamaica's Davis Cup team will be back on the courts this Thursday morning to continue fine-tuning preparations ahead of the country's crucial Group 2 playoff against Uruguay at the Ligonier Club in Kingston this weekend. Jamaica's 5-man team, including non-playing captain Dominic Pagan, will be gunning for promotion to Group 2 when they face the South Americans on Saturday and Sunday. The rest of the Jamaican squad has Blaise Bicknell, Randy Phillips, Daniel Azar, and Nicholas Gore will bow into action at 11 a.m. on Saturday's first day, which features the first two singles encounters. Sunday's action will also start at 11, with the doubles to be followed by the reverse singles. Coach Noel Rutherford says training has been going well, and though they expect stiff competition from the folks from Uruguay, he's confident the Jamaicans will be victorious.
They're very confident going into this tie on the weekend, and I think it's something. It's going to be really interesting to see how well they stand up against these guys, especially in the doubles. I hope that we'll get the first two singles, if possible, because the doubles is a little bit tricky for us, But nevertheless, we're confident. I've been watching the guys there from Uruguay, and I think we have a very good chance of beating these guys.
Jamaica's Davis Cup coach Noel Rutherford. Now, the team from Uruguay has been on the island since Sunday and trained on Wednesday at the Ligonier Club. The tie was officially launched on Wednesday at the match venue, and the organizers say they are expecting at least 5,000 spectators over the 2 days. Jamaica has never gained promotion to Group 2 once, or has gained promotion to Group 2 once in 2024. The Sports Development Foundation, SDF, has committed $1.5 million to the tie. And that's it for your morning sports.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In business this morning, the Washington Post has announced it is laying off 1/3 of its workforce, sharply scaling back the paper's coverage of sports and foreign news. The cuts were announced on Wednesday. It will impact employees across departments, with roles in the newsroom's sports, local, and foreign sections hit particularly hard. It marks the latest upheaval for the leading U.S. newspaper, which is owned by billionaire Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Executive editor Matt Murray said the cuts would bring stability, but the announcement was met with condemnation from the paper's employees and some former leaders, one of whom described it as among the darkest days in the history of the storied newspaper. Murray wrote in a note to staff on Wednesday, "Today's news is painful. These are difficult actions." He said, quote, "If we are to thrive, not just endure, we must reinvent our journalism and our business model with renewed ambition," end quote. In his explanation of the cuts, Murray said that the paper's online traffic had plummeted in the last 3 years amid the AI boom, and that it was too rooted in a different era. Now, the U.S. has launched an effort to form a trade zone for critical minerals that are key to making everything from smartphones to weapons, as it tries to break China's dominance of the industry. On Wednesday, the State Department hosted the first critical minerals ministerial event. It was attended by countries and organizations including the UK, EU, Japan, India, South Korea, Australia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Delegates discussed the availability of and access to minerals crucial to the manufacture of things like computer chips and electric vehicle batteries. The mining and processing of such critical minerals, which include rare earths, is dominated by China. In remarks released by the U.S. government, Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio did not mention China by name. Instead, Vance referred to the foreign supply of such minerals flooding global markets, making it difficult for other countries with mineral deposits to secure the financing needed to produce them. He said the U.S. planned to use tariffs to stop critical mineral prices falling too low, which can deter investment. In foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar has gained 5 cents and will open trading this morning, selling for an average $157.38 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican has lost $1.69 and will open selling for an average $116.32. And the Jamaican dollar has lost 60 cents and will begin trading for an average $215.47 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Register your property or update an existing title through the Land Administration and Management Division. The time by the National Land Agency is
6:30.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
The Nationwide family. Something big is on the way. More access, more exclusives, more of what you've been asking for. Coming soon.
How could I not be grateful? How could I not give thanks? How could I not appreciate all these blessings I have? How could I be so selfish? How could I complain? How could I turn a blind eye to the sunshine and the rain? Oh, Jah provide the bread. Contentment is the bed upon which I lay my head at night. Yeah, I've got food up on the table. I've got clothes on my back, so I know everything's alright. Yes, I'm so grateful, grateful. I'm so grateful, grateful. I'm so grateful. Yes, not only when we're grateful, oh yes, I'm always grateful, grateful. Give thanks, grateful, grateful. I'm always grateful, so grateful.
Do I destroy my enemies when I made them my friends? Loose lips talk of mischief, some live in false pretense. Look at what we do for them, see what a thanks we get. But a good man is never honored by an ungrateful set. So Jah provides the bread. Contentment is my bed on which I lay my head at night. I've got food up on my table. I've got clothes up on my back. So I know everything's alright.
Yes, I'm so grateful, grateful. Yes, I'm so grateful, grateful. I'm always grateful. Not only when the grateful, I said I'm always grateful, grateful. Give thanks, grateful, grateful. Always grateful. Yeah, we put your first and second and third. Watch your blessings come forth, blessings come forth. Yo, it is a miracle to make your thing shot and end up a gun court, end up a gun court. Growing up on the banks of the Hope. Never give up and we never lose hope. And we never sell out and never sell dope. No ironically, everything where we say the says dope. Listen, it never break with spirit growing up, bro. Roll out smelling like carbolic soap. Yes, I regular we run boat just to stay afloat. And we run joke just to cope. Yeah, I know social mobility, limited scope. But mama make we know so time longer than rope. We no frightened nothing, nothing, cause we used to go without. From food stamp and no stamp, fill up a passport. Yeah, watch juvenile, no put no gun in your transport. Fi collect no banknote, know that at the wrong spot. Hey, everybody want a bus like public transport. But all the food, everything curry like gold. Put your first and second and third. Watch your blessings come forth, blessings come forth. Yo, it is a miracle to make your thing shot and end up a gun court, end up a gun court. Growing up on the banks of the Hope. Never give up and we never lose hope. And we never sell out and never sell down. No
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So guys, in relation to Lila Ike's song about coming to Kingston and whatnot, so Jermaine is, jeering me saying I came to Kingston and had pork, Jermaine said fire up on pork, so I'm just responding the pork was had in St. Elizabeth. And Jermaine, my mom partaked, okay? So So I'm gonna burn out everybody in the household except Dad. But yeah. Anywho, good morning to our listeners. Good morning to our listeners. Hello to my friends in the YouTube chat. Good morning, happy Thursday. And hello, good morning to my friends out there listening on the app or from the website. It's a chilly Thursday morning here in Kingston City for me. And I was saying earlier that I should have wore a thicker jacket like the kids over there in St. Catherine. Yeah, this is not gonna work. But anywho, hope you guys are having a good morning, whether we find you here in Jamaica or you're listening in the diaspora. Yes. I'm Tana.
Top of the morning to your listeners, viewers, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, brewing tea, boiling coffee, or you're already on your way to school or to work, top of the morning to you. It's a Thursday morning, especially known as Friday Eve. So, top of the morning to you. I am Saeed. How are you, Tana?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Going down to the end of the week, so no complaints on this side. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Outside felt a bit, hot this morning.
Not for me.
Humid. Really?
Not for me. It was
you talking
chilly.
In the building or outside?
Outside.
No, I don't really feel chilly outside. Inside is chilly, but not outside. Yeah. But the next front should be coming tomorrow. Yeah. Friday. I didn't really see the rains that they said would come. He said to expect
Wednesday and Thursday. Right. So perhaps today.
So let's see what happens today. But for sure, it's going to be a cool weekend, or at least it is projected to be a cool weekend. And Tana, I can't wait for it to come. Perfect time for some rest.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, on my mind this morning, this is the segment for What's on My Mind. And on my mind this morning, so, Saeed, yesterday I was having a conversation with someone about a particular stretch of road. And the motorist was saying he doesn't understand why they bother fixing it. So, he said it's fixed this month, and then he said 2 good shower rainfall and the road mash up again. And similarly, I've seen as well in some areas very substandard work, especially in rural Jamaica, and sometimes I describe it as a waste of asphalt, you know? And the work crews that I observe sometime in the rural areas seem to just be doing their own thing. Men in t-shirts, cut off pants, spliff in the mouth, a half truck of marl and asphalt and shovels, just doing their own thing. A pothole barely patched here, or a couple more left out up the road, and then you go further up the road and you see some more patched. And they're doing this work not as a community effort or, you know, of their own free will, like they put their money together and they're doing it, because some people do that, but that's not what they're doing. It was authorized by somebody for them to go out there and do the work. And you also see this with the debushing as well. The overgrown vegetation is barely touched on the roadsides in many rural areas, but they'll tell you that, yeah man, we cleared the bush, we did the debushing. But when you observe, not much debushing has been done. So you're looking at them like, did you really debush? Or what sort of work have you done in terms of fixing those potholes? A lot of it is quite shoddy in my mind. And in relation to the roads, oftentimes citizens just protest and, you know, they broadly blame government out of frustration because, frankly, the work could have stayed. It was just not done properly. And the difference isn't made in terms of who they should blame or who is responsible for a particular road, who is to be held to account. It's just that government needs to fix the road because people are frustrated with their travel daily, their commute. So many times the blame may fall right at the doors of an MP when the road is a parochial road, for example, managed by the municipal authorities. But in general, many don't know and just want their roads properly fixed to a standard where when 2 good shower rainfall, the road surface won't be eroded to the same condition it was in before the shoddy work. And why am I saying all of this morning? There has been some pushback, Said and listeners, against the One Road Authority, the ORA, some people are calling it. But to my mind, it can't come sooner. And if implemented properly, should result in citizens being able to hold the authorities and contractors to account. It should also result in better roadworks across the board, whether it be parochial or parish council road or National Works Agency road or a farm road, or roads that have no owner on official records right now that the government calls orphan roads. There was a comprehensive update 6 days ago, I'm not sure if you guys heard it, on the ORA by the Works Minister, Robert Morgan, who reiterated some of the key elements expected from the One Road Authority. Key elements meant to address the pain points of us Jamaicans when it comes on to roadworks in the country. Now, the One Road Authority, he says, will contain the Jamaica Road Designation Framework and the Jamaica Road Register. So, on that Road Register website, all of us will have access to a list of all roads, the quality of the road, and importantly, who is responsible for your road, and ultimately, when will your road be repaired, and if it has been repaired, who repaired it, what was the value of repair as well. And this is intended to remedy this long-standing problem of us not knowing who to hold to account. So we just say, listen, MP, government, fix our roads, but who really has responsibility for the road that you're complaining about? So for example, Said, in the registry, I expect to see, let's use this studio, so Nationwide Studio Road, and its designation, it's a main road, and NWA is responsible for this road. And Nationwide Studio Road is due for maintenance in the second quarter of financial year 2026-2027. Repairs to Nationwide Studio Road in the previous quarter was contracted to Said Roads and Gullies Company, right? And the value of the previous repair was $10. So you can go to this space, this registry, and you'll see all the data in relation to every road across Jamaica. The registry is also expected to allow us citizens to submit our questions and our complaints regarding the roads that we want to complain about. So to my mind, I expect a user-friendly space where I can upload pictures, for example, of a road that's really badly damaged, as well as for that to accompany my complaint rather. And there I'll have a proper paper trail, for example, of the timeline of my complaints and how quickly I got back a response and actions regarding the roads in my area. Now, the road designation framework, the Works Minister says, will determine how roads are designated, whether they are main roads, farm roads, or parish council roads. Very important in helping Jamaicans to know, again, who to hold to account. So, for the example I use, Nationwide Studio Road, designated as a main road managed by the National Works Agency. Then there is Nationwide Office Road, a parochial road or parish council road managed by the municipal authorities. And then Nationwide Newsroom Road could perhaps be a farm road managed by, let's say, the Minister of Agriculture or RADA. As I indicated earlier, and importantly, many of us are tired of the shoddy work on some roads, and the One Road Authority, the ORA, is expected to enforce a single standard for roadworks across the island, ensuring quality is consistent and roads are durable. It is also expected to strengthen quality assurance and compliance monitoring so that contractors and executing entities are held accountable for road standard requirements. Because frankly, again, we're tired of substandard work that looks like a waste of taxpayers' money. It's as if you're just dashing out asphalt and marl out there on some of the roads, especially what I have observed in rural area by men in t-shirts and shorts who seem not to know exactly what they're doing. So the standard is not the same as somewhere else. So as the motorist was saying yesterday, too good shower rainfall and the road mash up again. So you see some kind of shoddy work done this month, and then a month later after adverse weather conditions, and that is all gone to waste. What's the point? That's a waste of money. So the update now, a 90-day deadline is set up for an enabling framework within the ministry to start operational design, outline the legislative and regulatory changes that need to be made, and take a look at core instruments such as the designation criteria and Jamaican National Road Register structure, where the government can set up the ORA. Now, I note the timeline for implementation of all aspects is 3 to 24 months. And rightly said, you're a road user too. You're a driver. We all want our roads to be fixed properly and to a certain standard. You're an attorney too, so you're not just situated in the city area. You might have reason to go to the rural areas too, and you see some of the substandard work there. You might go this month to parts of St. Elizabeth or Manchester, and you see a road and the potholes are patched in a way that you're thinking, listen, in no time, that is going to be dug up again. And then you visit the area a month and a half later, and that's exactly what you're seeing. What was done has all gone to waste because the same potholes have presented again because it was just not done properly. And that's what the ORA, the One Road Authority, is trying to remedy. Rightly, all road users should welcome what the ORA is intended to do and its timely operationalization. And that is what is on my mind.
Public passenger vehicle operators and commercial carriers. The 2026-2027 licensing period begins February 1. Apply, check out, pay at www.ta.org.jm. No rush, no fuss. Go digital with us. The time by the Transport Authority is
6:49.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The Temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
26 degrees in Kingston, 24 out west in Montego Bay, and 20 in Mandeville.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Want to see what happens before we go live? The doors are about to open. Nationwide Family Club coming soon.
Nine minutes going up to 7 o'clock, and it's that time for Street Smart with the man Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, good morning, Saeed, morning, Tona.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
Well, you put everything in perspective for me because I was going to talk about the road situation, but it's an ongoing process. You know, I couldn't believe Wellington Drive was just repaired. Well, they were just paved. That's Wellington Drive from Mona Road. Then it goes on to Monroe Road. A big hole in the middle of the road. Apparently sunken by some heavy-duty vehicle, and the water main was broken.
Yep.
I did call to tell you what was happening yesterday, but I don't know if it was reported. You know, and these are the things that are happening. Just repaired and just resurfaced, and there it is. Anyway, the situation on our road, it's depending on where you are. Those of you in the Olympic Gardens area, well, if you're on the Seaview, Seaward Drive, Olympic Way, it is good movement, good vehicle movement along Bay Farm Road. And if you're coming from Spanish Town onto the Penwood Road, it's good vehicle movement all the way out from Bay Farm Road going out towards Walton Park Road. It's good. Going across Newark Avenue is also pretty good so far. And then from there on to Newark Avenue, that Keysing Avenue, that is the word. Then onto Hagley Park Road, the deep movement is good so far, but you just remember, it's moving now, but it's building all the time. So if you're making it up to Hagley Park Road, so far, it's not too bad, but it's building all the time as the minutes progresses. Going through Richmond Park at the moment, it's okay. If you're on Richmond Park Avenue at the moment, and places like Queens Avenue, Montgomery Avenue, which is a major carrier of vehicles, it is good so far. And then onto Maxfield Avenue, then onto Lyndhurst Road. These are showing good vehicle movements for the time being. Let's see what happens by the time we get to our second report. But just to remind you, motorists, it's really cloudy, and maybe there might be some little sprinkling of rain, but it's dark and cloudy at the moment. So it's over to you, Saeed.
Thank you so much, Ludlow. That's Street Smart. Up next, your word of the day.
And our word of the day is spelled Lateral, spelled Lateral.
Lateral. Lateral. Lateral.
Lateral is your word of the day, an adjective. Lateral meaning situated at, proceeding from, or directed to a side. Lateral is your word of the day. An explanation provided by dictionary.com. Lateral isn't about moving up, it's about moving sideways. You'll hear this word in sports, anatomy, or when talking about a career move. Figuratively, it refers to trying an alternative approach. Make a lateral move and see where it takes you. Lateral, your word of the day. A sentence: the athlete executed a quick lateral movement to avoid the opponent on the field. Lateral, your word of the day. Situated at, proceeding from, or directed to a side is the definition here. It's an adjective, a descriptive word, spelled Lateral. And I see a lot of you responding to the What's on My Mind about roads, and I'll just state one comment. Eldon Lewis says there is a particular contractor who uses a light roller that is like the one used on a cricket pitch. Yeah, and some would say, is that good enough to keep the road surface in a standard that you wanted for a very long time? Perhaps not. But up next, we have our features at the top of the hour of the news.
hemorrhoids or piles are a common problem. We're all born with them, but at the baseline, they don't usually bother us. However, if they become swollen and enlarged, that can literally become a pain in the butt. In coming of age today, what irritates the hemorrhoids and how to treat them? Hemorrhoids can be painful, uncomfortable, and cause rectal bleeding. They're more common as you age, affecting more than half of people over the age of 50. You may be more at risk if you are overweight, obese, pregnant, eat a low-fiber diet, have chronic constipation or diarrhea, lift heavy objects regularly, spend a lot of time sitting on the toilet, or strain while having bowel movements. Hemorrhoids can happen inside or outside the rectum. Swollen veins formed underneath the skin around the anus are known as external hemorrhoids. They can be itchy and painful. Occasionally, they bleed. If blood pools in an external hemorrhoid and forms a clot or thrombus, it can result in severe pain, swelling, inflammation, a hard lump near the anus. Internal hemorrhoids are swollen veins formed inside the rectum, the part of the digestive system that connects the large intestine or the colon to the anus. Internal hemorrhoids may bleed, but they are usually not painful. Symptoms often improve with at-home treatments, but on occasion, people need medical procedures. Colorectal surgeon Dr. Jill Waldron says the banding method can be used to remove internal hemorrhoids.
For an external hemorrhoid that has thrombosed, depending on the duration of the symptoms and whether the symptoms are improving or not, I will advise a patient to keep the hemorrhoid and suffer through it, or to go ahead and excise it, most commonly in the office. The most common treatment approach for internal hemorrhoid is hemorrhoid banding. This is an office procedure where I place a tiny little rubber band right over the hemorrhoid, causing the blood supply of the hemorrhoid to be cut off, and then in about 4 or 5 days the hemorrhoid actually sloughs off with the bowel movement, and the patient doesn't notice that this has occurred.
Dr. Jill Waldron, colorectal surgeon. She says the banding method is not recommended for external hemorrhoids as it would be very painful. Other home remedies can be used to manage it, such as over-the-counter hemorrhoid cream or suppository containing hydrocortisone, or use pads containing witch hazel or a numbing agent. You can also soak regularly in a warm bath or sitz bath. A sitz bath fits over the toilet. Soak your anal area in plain warm water for 10 to 15 minutes, 2 to 3 times per day. Persons with painful hemorrhoids can also take oral pain relievers like acetaminophen. That would be Panadol or Tylenol, aspirin or ibuprofen, Advil, Motrin IB, to help relieve the discomfort temporarily. Eating more fiber can help prevent hemorrhoids. That's it for Coming of Age today.
Fearless and fair, Nationwide 90 FM.
If you recognize these 7 characteristics within yourself, you should never consider going into business or becoming a hustler or an entrepreneur. This is Lifestyle Pages on immature traits. 1. You are moody and irritable almost all the time. 2. You're always complaining and behaving like you're always the victim, and you are angry at the world as if the world owes you something. An immature person is usually selfish, inconsiderate, and sometimes even dishonest. An immature person is recognized as someone who is occasionally mean and cruel and is hostile to others. An immature person, regardless of age, can be lazy and irresponsible. They're usually only interested in themselves. Those who refuse to grow up and remain immature are dependent on others for approval, opinions, and judgment. These types of individuals are often incapable of making decisions and are generally unsuitable for management roles. I'm Valerie, and those were Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
One nation, one purpose, to rebuild stronger than before. Build it to last with tools and equipment from National Supply. The temperature by National Supply is
26 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 24 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville 20 degrees Celsius.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 for this morning, Thursday, February 5, 2026. Education Ministry orders schools to allow students to wear warm jackets amid the cold front. Remittance flows into the country jumped by 14% in November 2025. Health Ministry says the bed capacity at hospitals in Melissa-hit parishes is down to 58%. And in international news, the last U.S.-Russia nuclear pact expires today, Thursday. The details after the break.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Ministry of Education has issued a bulletin ordering school administrators to relax dress code rules and allow students to wear warm jackets amid the cold weather being experienced across the country. The bulletin was issued late on Wednesday by Chief Education Officer Terrian Thomas Gale. It comes amid reports of at least one school in St. Catherine, which on Monday confiscated jackets not branded for the school. In its bulletin, the ministry says students should be allowed to wear comfortable jackets, including those that are not part of the standard school uniform, but which are suitable for cold weather. It says it's important that all students are safe and comfortable, especially as the weather can affect concentration and overall well-being. The Education Ministry says school administrators should bear in mind that some students may have existing health conditions that the colder weather could exacerbate. It advises them to be observant and attentive to these students, ensuring they have what they need to remain warm and comfortable. The ministry also advises schools to help students keep warm by including warm beverages or soups as part of their meal offerings. It also recommends that some schools allow for more frequent bathroom breaks. The Education Ministry says school administrators should remember their duty of care as mandated by the Child Care and Protection Act, which calls for a nurturing and protective environment. The ministry says we must approach each child with the same love and consideration we would extend to our own. Jamaica recorded a 14% increase in net remittance inflows in November of last year. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's latest remittance bulletin. Siobhan Campbell reports.
The 14% increase represents an inflow of $281.2 million US dollars. That's $35.1 million US dollars more compared with November 2024. The improvement was driven primarily by higher total remittance inflows, which rose by 14.3% or $38.1 million US dollars during the month. This gain was partly offset by an increase in remittance outflows of 15.3% or $3 million US dollars. The BOJ says the rise in inflows was attributed mainly to stronger receipts through the remittance company's channel, but a marginal decline was recorded in flows via the other remittances channel. For the fiscal year to date, 2025, net remittance inflows amounted to $2,170 million US dollars. That reflects an increase of 2.8% or $58.2 million US dollars relative to the corresponding period of the previous fiscal year. Data from November 2025 shows that remittance inflows increased across all major source corridors. The United States of America remained Jamaica's dominant source market, accounting for 66.9% of total inflows. Still, this represented a slight decline from 67.9% recorded in November 2024. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The beds available at hospitals in parishes worst affected by Hurricane Melissa has reduced to 58% of pre-Melissa levels. The figure was provided by Director of Emergency Disaster Management and Special Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Nicole Dawkins-Wright. She was speaking on day one of the National Health Research Conference on Wednesday.
As of today, if we were to use numbers and metrics, hospital bed capacity in high-impact areas in the 5 high-impact parishes is at 58% in terms of what we are functioning with in those areas. Number of operable primary care facilities infrastructure accounts for 65%. Many of persons are having challenges moving around, even to come outside of their locale, because the local roads are still having challenges. And so this number, as much as it speaks by itself, it's probably even less, because the matter of access for people coming to the facilities is still a challenge.
The 5 high-impact parishes are St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. According to Dr. Dawkins-Wright, St. Elizabeth took the brunt of the damage. She cited as an example Black River Hospital, which has a bed capacity of 25%, the lowest across the worst affected areas. Dr. Dawkins-Wright also gave a breakout of bed capacity across the regional health authorities.
Falmouth is still functioning, 45%. SAV, the number reported is 100% in terms of capacity. Noel Home Hospital, 60%. Cornwall Regional, I think most persons know by now that we are speaking of 60%, but it was already stretched from before. Primary care facilities in both Southern Region and Western Region, as mentioned, still remains at 65% between the first check at day 40 and today at day 100.
Dr. Nicole Dawkins-Wright, Director of Emergency Disaster Management and Special Services. Meanwhile, Dr. Dawkins-Wright says the number of suspected cases of leptospirosis has increased to over 150. She made the disclosure while providing data on the human impact of Hurricane Melissa.
The 45 deaths initially at our spotlight time, which is January 31st, that number hasn't changed, but the official figures may change come next year, thereabout, when the final figures are put in the official documentary, because we still have 32 persons under investigation and 13 persons who have not yet accounted for. So we're at 158 in terms of leptospirosis cases. The numbers for displaced households haven't changed, fortunately. Power is coming back nicely. We're down to single digits, and therefore it also means that water and almost everything else in terms of structures are also coming back up.
Dr. Nicole Dawkins-Wright, Director of Emergency Disaster Management and Special Services. Now, a tense moment unfolded in the Supreme Court on Wednesday as one of the accused men in the Klansman gang trial used his hands to imitate a gun, pointed it at the prosecution's first witness, and made a bow sound as if firing a gunshot. The man made the threatening gesture while being led out of the courtroom. This was shortly after the prosecution called its first witness in the ongoing trial involving alleged gang leader Tesha Miller and 24 co-accused charged under the anti-gang legislation. Robin Williams witnessed the moment and has this report.
It was an unexpected moment that startled everyone who heard it. One of the 25 accused in the Klansman gang trial was being led out of the courtroom following the day's proceedings. He was handcuffed to another defendant. The witness, a detective corporal, had just completed giving evidence for the day and was waiting in the hallway of the court. The defendant held his hand up, imitating a gun, pointed it at the policeman, and shouted, "Bow!" Everyone turned in that direction and looked. The defendant was then led down to the holding area. The policeman stood and laughed, then muttered, "That's a threat." Back in the courtroom, the detective corporal testified that on March 5, 2023, at about 4:30 a.m., he and a team of approximately 20 police personnel were briefed on an operation to be carried out in an area of Spanish Town, St. Catherine. They proceeded to a premises with a search warrant. The witness said he was assigned to the cordon team tasked with securing the outside of the property while a breach team entered the house. He told the court he heard police announcing themselves and stating that they had a warrant but received no response. Sometime later, he heard that one man had been found inside. While positioned at the back of the building, he said he heard a motor vehicle arrive at the front and saw 3 men exit. As he prepared to alert colleagues inside, another vehicle arrived behind the first. He testified that 2 of the men entered the yard and were shouting, "Ripper!" When the second vehicle arrived, which turned out to be members of his team, the 2 men ran toward the back of the building in their direction. The witness said, "I made myself visible and I shouted, 'Police!' adding that one of the men was holding a firearm. He told the court that the man raised the hand holding the gun, prompting him to fire his service pistol. The second man managed to run past him, but another policeman engaged that individual. That man escaped over a fence at the rear of the property. The witness said the man he fired at fell to the ground. A firearm was allegedly retrieved from the injured man, who was later taken to hospital in a service vehicle. The witness also testified that he later encountered another man at the front of the premises who identified himself as Bijan Thomas, otherwise called BJ, and he said he was a truck driver. In court, the witness identified Thomas among the accused in the dock. The trial is scheduled to resume on Thursday morning at 10. Robeanne Williams for Nationwide News.
The House of Representatives has passed legislation to increase the stipend paid to Jamaicans who serve as jurors. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck piloted the bill through the lower house and separated it from other amendments to the Jury Act.
The bill itself, Madam Speaker, dealt with 2 issues: the increase in the fees and the widening of the fees to jurors who are called to serve, and also the matter of jury tampering before and during the trial. Madam Speaker, a number of concerns were raised, and it seemed to me, even though I've tried to remedy a number of the concerns raised in relation to jury tampering, it still needs a bit of tweaking. So I've decided that we're only proceeding with the increase in the fees.
With the passage of the legislation, the stipend paid to jurors will be increased from $2,000 to $6,000 for each day or any part of a day that they serve on a jury. This seeks to incentivize Jamaicans to serve as jurors following well-published concerns over the shallow jury pool plaguing the justice system. The aspect of legislation covering jury tampering was flagged by the opposition, who believed it would benefit from the input of the public. Minister Chuck says that issue will go to a Joint Select Committee to be addressed.
At the Joint Select Committee on the Jury Act, I would like the first order of business to deal with jury tampering. And we can finalize that, what we have here and what is would have been proposed today, but I decided we will do it when we set up the Joint Select Committee.
Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. The bill passed with 8 amendments and is now on its way to the Senate. Farmers across parts of St. Elizabeth and Manchester will now benefit from stronger support for irrigation and agricultural production with the official opening of the Essex Valley Agro-Processing Facility. The larger-scale agricultural and rural development initiative forms part of the government's plan to boost agriculture productivity, strengthen food security, and support climate-resilient farming in Jamaica. Speaking at the opening ceremony in St. Elizabeth on Wednesday, Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says the facility includes storage capacity for farmers.
Our agro-processing facility, with 624,000 square feet of land, and that can store up to 17,000 kilograms of agricultural produce weekly. But it's not only for storage. It is equipped so that it can process what we grow into juices, purees, and concentrates. It is equipped so that things can be washed, graded, and sorted. What we're doing with storage is to ensure that we have a consistent supply.
The Essex Valley program also involves the development of irrigation and farm road infrastructure. Overall, Minister Green says that the project is about 90% complete. He says that the final pieces of equipment are en route to Jamaica to complete the irrigation aspect. The Agriculture Minister says that the government is committed to building more facilities like these across the country.
This is just one in a series of cold storage initiatives. We already broke ground for the 123 million cold storage facility in Kirkvine. We are going to move to ensure that in all our productive zones, we have facilities of this nature so that our farmers all over Jamaica will be able to invest and get the returns on their investment, and that our consumers will always have high quality Jamaican food.
Floyd Green, Agriculture Minister. Telecommunications Minister Darrell Vaz insists his appointment as the co-chair of the Relief and Recovery Oversight Committee gave him the requisite power to lead the procurement of Starlink units in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. Minister Vaz was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday evening.
Although ODPEM does not fall under me, it used to fall under local government, and it went to the office of the Prime Minister, yes? By virtue of my appointment as co-chair of the Cabinet Subcommittee of the Melissa Recovery, that gives me authority and autonomy to speak directly to the Permanent Secretary in OPM and also the Director General in OPM. So it's not just the Minister of Telecommunications that pick up the phone and call the Permanent Secretary. I'm using my position given to me by the Cabinet of Jamaica, named by the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
The minister has refuted the Auditor General's report alleging he breached the Public Procurement Act during the government's response to the hurricane. The report says that the purchase of the devices was initiated on the instruction of the minister rather than by the head of the procuring entity. Minister Vaz says that they were procured through the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM. Vaz told host Tyrone Reid he is confident he acted correctly based on the emergency procurement guidelines provided by the Office of Public Procurement Policy.
Everything that happened to with Starlink came through me from the day one, from the hurricane hit. I was a point person as Minister of Telecommunications. The bottom line is my ministry did not do the procurement, and that's where I think I would have had a problem, which is why I went the route of ODPEM, because they are the body in law responsible for the response to emergency disasters.
Procuring, so they function as a procuring entity.
Absolutely.
You're of the view that your actions fell within the ambit of the legal advice provided by the Attorney General's chamber?
110%.
Darrell Vaz, Minister of Telecommunications. In international news now, the last remaining nuclear arms pact between Russia and the United States expires today, Thursday, removing any caps on the two largest atomic arsenals for the first time in more than half a century. The termination of the New START treaty could set the stage for what many fear could be an unconstrained nuclear arms race. Russian President Vladimir Putin last year declared readiness to stick to the treaty's limits for another year if Washington follows suit. But U.S. President Donald Trump has been non-committal. He has indicated that he wants China to be a part of the treaty, a push Beijing has rebuffed. Putin discussed the pact's expiration with Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Wednesday. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Thursday that Moscow views the expiration of the treaty negatively and regrets it. And that's it for the news at 7.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:19.
We're going to reconstruct areas that were damaged, but we're going to do it with a forward thinking. We're going to seek to include new businesses and new infrastructure, including new towns, new roads, new schools, new hospitals. We have to build them with the next hurricane, the next shock in mind. We have to build them with resilience.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
That time of the morning when we get our second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Good morning again to you, Ludlow.
Morning again, Tom, and to all our listeners, the motoring public, traveling public, and all visitors and all transport operators. Morning. Just to let you know, motorists, Reddings Road is the road. Some extensive work was done on Reddings Road. So if you're coming from the Price Right area, coming all the way down Reddings Road, you see a number of areas has been patched, and patched in a different way, I would say it. I see some little holes that were there, they're all patched. So if you're coming all the way down to connect with Dunrobin, it's going to be smooth sailing. And it also gives leverage for some of these taxi operators who are using the outside lane. They're on the other side, so please be careful, operators. But that side, the traffic is building, but no major delays yet. Some of the traffic has branched off to Three Views Avenue, then they make it onto Savannah Avenue, and then back onto Washington Boulevard. Washington Boulevard in both directions, there are gaps along there. So if you're coming from that build-up at Washington Boulevard and Moline, then you make it on, continue on to Washington Boulevard, going past Savannah Avenue. There are a lot of gaps there, but it peaks just in the vicinity of that overpass there to get to Dunrobin, and then making that turn off there to get back onto Redding. That's where the traffic really is. But there's a long line of traffic along Dunrobin Avenue to make it onto Springer, and that's a regular thing. Eastwood Park End from Reddings Road is steady flow going on there, and some of the traffic is also making its way onto Castle Park Road. So there's a long line of traffic on Castle Park Road going out to the intersection of Waltham and Castle Park, Waltham and Moline. Moline's Road heading into Half Street, quite active, busy. Some of it is making its way onto Tarrant Drive, then onto Wood Glen, and then from Wood Glen you see some traffic going up into the Half Tree area. There's also traffic again in the Richmond Park area, just building from this morning, and also going up to Maxfield Avenue into the Half Tree area. So lots of vehicles in the air, and I should also mention that on the eastern side, Paul Bogle Highway coming towards the intersection by the roundabout there to get into Harborview. That's where the traffic is. And then there's a steady flow of traffic along Trafalgar Gasport. And remember, there are some bumps there that you have to negotiate, especially on the westbound leg. And you have to be careful of that pothole. Once you leave Winnow Road to get to the intersection, in that right lane, there's two huge potholes. A number of vehicles have lost their tires or damaged their tires and rims, so be careful. I suspect that area will be covered in due course because Michael Manley Boulevard, there was some patching done there also. So things are going on. So for the time being, at Street Smart, your safety is our concern. It's over to you, Tona.
Thank you so much, Ludlow, for that second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean up next, the front page.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hatley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned in to our discussion segment, the front page. Now, on the front page this morning, right up to 7:30, for those of you who missed it, because of the controversy in relation to the jacket situation in St. Catherine, where students are left shivering throughout the day on Monday because their jackets were confiscated because they weren't wearing the school branded jacket. There was much talk about that. It featured in the What's on My Mind on our newscast segment. Much reactions on social media to that as well. Many parents and ordinary Jamaicans outraged by what happened there. And we're also reacting yesterday to the interview we had with the principal of Red Hills High, where there was a contrasting story where the principal there was handing out jackets instead and not confiscating jackets. And that is indeed the way to go. Now, the Ministry of Education has issued a bulletin in relation to that, and we will be reading the bulletin in full for you. For those listeners out there who are parents, administrators out there who are thinking of confiscating jackets, this is what the Ministry of Education has issued. It's bulletin number 17. The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information uses this medium to inform its stakeholders that as we're currently experiencing a cold front, the country is experiencing significantly cooler temperatures and strong gusty winds. School administrators are reminded of the importance of keeping our students comfortable and safe during this unprecedented period of lower temperatures. We kindly ask that the following guidelines be adhered to. Allow students to wear jackets. Students should be allowed to wear comfortable jackets to school. This helps them to stay warm throughout the day. It is important that all students feel comfortable, especially as the weather can affect their concentration and overall well-being.
Where allow warm clothing attire, you understand that some students may or may not have access to school branded jackets. Therefore, dress codes for jackets should be relaxed to allow students to wear any appropriate and warm outerwear. This includes jackets that are not part of the standard school uniform but are suitable for cold weather. Consider health concerns. Keep in mind that some students may have existing health conditions that the colder weather could exacerbate. We urge you to be observant and attentive to these students, ensuring that they have what they need to remain warm and comfortable.
The Education Ministry goes on to say in bulletin number 17, offer warm beverages and soups to help keep students warm during lunch. Schools are encouraged to include warm beverages or soups as part of their meal offerings. These should be served at a temperature that is safe for consumption, providing comfort without risking any harm. Bathroom breaks. Given the colder temperatures, we recommend that school administrators allow for more frequent bathroom breaks for the children as needed. The strong cold front impacting us presents both a challenge and an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to the well-being of our students. As school administrators, it is crucial to remember our duty of care as mandated by the Child Care and Protection Act, which calls for a nurturing and protective environment for all our children in our care. We must approach each child with the same love and consideration we would extend to our own, ensuring they feel safe, valued, and comfortable in their learning environment. Let us work together to create a safe, warm, and inviting environment for all our children, enabling them to flourish even in adverse weather conditions. And the ministry ends this bulletin by saying thank you for your continued commitment to the welfare of our children.
Indeed.
A correct directive to make from the Education Ministry should have come sooner. From the reports that were made on the day from that St. Catherine-based school, the parents there who made reports to the Education Ministry, the bulletin should have come from that day. But in any sense, Said, it should not have to take the Ministry of Education issuing a directive to administrators about students wearing, thick enough warm jackets
or unbranded
during a time like this,
or non-school branded jackets.
Yeah.
Again, it shouldn't have to be said, but here we are.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, glad it's been said. And it seems like in certain circumstances, the ministry might have to be proactive now to say, okay, this is the weather advisory, let us send out a bulletin to say this is not supposed to happen. Because again, they should not have to do it. But obviously, we are operating in an environment where certain administrators are like robots, without any brain to consider, to offer consideration and compassion. And then that is what it leaves us to. When the ministry could be focusing on other matters, they have to be lending some time to this one. So seems as if, this will have to be the common port going forward, unfortunately. Very unfortunate, but it is what it is at this point.
I see Nev 19 saying common sense ain't so common anymore. And Brick Road saying the principals and teachers sell everything to the students. One Jamaica Day, a principal removed a boy's runner and sold him black shoes. Where are you? Wow. Nationwide reported that story. That's the story I was mentioning yesterday about a little boy who wore his white PE sneakers, and because it wasn't the black PE sneakers that the school said everybody's supposed to wear, there's a problem where the child was being told to take off the white PE sneakers, and he's going to be sold or given a black sneakers.
And the next thing is, Tana, it's one thing to give this bulletin, but I would not be surprised, I'm not hoping this happens, but I would not be surprised if the newsroom gets word that a next call front comes and an administrator decides to do what they want to do. I would not be surprised. So issuing the bulletin is one thing, but the compliance of bulletins and directives from the Ministry of Education is an entirely different one. And that remains to be seen where these things are concerned. Again, Tana, history, tells us, for example, in past, I don't remember which administration it was, but I'm pretty sure it's over both administrations. The Ministry of Education would give a directive to have no school fees, for example. What the schools did, they said, okay, we don't call it school fees anymore. We call it maintenance, or they use some other word to say that, well, the school have to run, so we're going to charge this, So they've done different things to circumvent, and in some cases, they've just flown directly in the face of the Ministry of Education and do what they want to do. Again, case in point, don't lock out students from school for matters of hair and those things. It still happened, right? So issuing the bulletin is one thing, but compliance to it is an entirely different matter, and the enforcement of it on these administrators is an entirely different matter, I think.
Yeah, what should take place when you have situations where bulletins are issued, administrators are going against bulletins, or even if a bulletin is not issued, but administrators just generally don't exercise discretion and compassion in cases where discretion and compassion should be exercised. What should happen in those instances
and then,
from the Ministry of Education?
And then I see people, in the YouTube chat, well, I wouldn't say people, a person who would say, no, when we emasculate school leadership, society bearing the consequences. And then, interestingly, we went to school without jackets, we never did, allow the administrators the autonomy. And then you have people that think like this. And that is exactly the reason why we have what we have. That is exactly the reason why we have what we have. Because you have people who think like this, who say, oh, well, we suffered, we never dead, so them now go dead to make them suffer too. What kind of mentality is that? For something that is clear as day, clear, even Stevie Wonder could see it. The deaf can hear it. That's how clear it is. And of course, you will have some people who think like this. And this is why we are having the common sense problem that we are having now. This is why. This is exactly why. But anyways, more on.
Jamaica, stop the killing and give up the guns. Just live good now.
The time brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace is
7:35.
Super Center, everything for your home and more.
Bring back the fun of shopping. Discover the best finds in every aisle of amazing items. For your kitchen, your living room, your bedroom, or any room, Azan Supercenter has that perfect touch to elevate your space to the next level. Our team is ready to help you find what you are looking for you or someone else. So stop by our Crossroads store today and rediscover the fun of shopping.
Azan Supercenter, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Turning our attention now to excerpts from the Prime Minister's presentation in Essex Valley yesterday, speaking on matters in relation to bureaucracy. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says Jamaica's public bureaucracy must place greater focus on outcomes and context instead of rigidly following rules. He made the remarks on Wednesday while addressing the official opening of the Essex Valley Agro-Processing Facility in St. Elizabeth. Defending his administration's approach, Dr. Holness argued that many of the country's bureaucratic procedures are overly complex and in need of reform.
I will say this. You're not going to have simple processes in any country today. But you can have complex processes that are not complicated. The problem with our bureaucracy is that it is complicated, meaning that things don't happen in parallel, simultaneously. They happen sequentially. So you do one before you can move on to the other. They're not outcome sensitive. So it doesn't matter if there was a hurricane and people had to procure telecommunications and other critical things to make sure that we can get to people who are stranded. That is not a matter for the public bureaucracy. That is of no moment, no concern. So we need the bureaucracy to be sensitive to outcomes and context. We must reform the bureaucracy. Now, the government may look like we are doing well, because almost every week for the last 5 years, I am handing over something, cutting a ribbon on something, announcing something. We could be doing 10 times more. Believe me when I tell you. We could be doing 10 times more. So, Little Most Floyd was the Minister of Agriculture. Because yes, I did call him in, as I have done to several others in the cabinet, to say, listen, the pace has to increase, because whatever benefit we were getting from the fiscal discipline, the dividends from good management of the finances of the country, people soon forget about that. No new taxes don't mean not to anybody again. They come to expect that. The next step now is, how do we expand? How do we grow? Because the demands are not getting less. So, aside from the institutional reforms, there must be a cultural reform in our country. There needs to be a culture change in our country. Number one, service must not be confused with servitude. We are largely a service-based economy. And the quality of service that is given is going to be a critical factor in how fast we grow.
I think economically there's a point there. It's service-based economy, service-driven economy. Mm-hmm. So the better we grow our services and the better we have them, then the faster we grow. And that feeds further into the point on productivity. We need to be more productive because, for example, if the wages continue to go up but our productivity does not go up, then I think that's what they lead to inflation and other matters. So in order for us to sustain the particular benefits and get an increase in our disposables, we need to now focus on what works for us, which is our service industry, tourism, the professions, the like. That's mainly what drives our economy. From what he's saying, it's a major part of our economy. So we need to push that in order to get increased productivity. You have to grow the economy now. So, a fair point there.
What I'll say, Said, as we go to the break, is that we have labored the point on matters of procurement. Everybody in Jamaica talks about the issues with procurement and wanting to do things a bit faster. Wanting to fix road faster, turn on pipes faster for Jamaicans who are in need of water. All of the things that government needs to do faster in the country so that more people can benefit in a more timely manner. We know those issues and what needs to be done. And the people who are coming to the fore to tell you that they're having these issues with procurement and this is why they can't do these things faster, go back to the parliament. You know the changes that need to be made because of what you're experiencing at the ministerial level or agency level. Submissions are being made to ministers, legislators. Go back to the parliament and make the changes that are necessary so that things can be done faster, so that you don't have Jamaicans out here saying, want them to this, want them to that. You said it, for example, you announced some road are going to fix from, let's say, 2020. I know it's 2026. Why my road can't fix yet? I'm not saying that long, but over a long period of time where people are saying what is happening, and you come and you say, procurement this, and we had to do this, and we had to do that. I remember the other day when the Commissioner of Police came on talking about the body-worn cameras, Said, and he mentioned that the JCF was trying to procure those 1,000 additional body-worn cameras through an emergency approach. And they went to the procurement authorities, and the procurement authorities said to them, no, you don't meet the threshold to use that route. So you have to go the long route, basically. And they had to go through that route that took basically like a year. So you have people out here hammering, where are the body-worn cameras? So we don't hear that the body-worn cameras have arrived, because you have to go through all of these different stages that the procurement authorities and the law says that you have to go through before the cameras can be bought and come to country. So things have to change. We know the complaints. Nobody needs to come and tell us what the issues are again. We know them very well. Procurement issues very well. Make the changes. Make the changes.
All right. Well, it's 7:45. We take more after the break.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
14 minutes to 8 o'clock.
Hawkeye expresses heartfelt sympathy to all Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa. As we recover together, we remain committed to securing what matters most. The temperature by Hawkeye is
26 degrees in Kingston, 24 at West in Montego Bay, and 21 in Mandeville.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. We're bringing for you excerpts from the Prime Minister's presentation yesterday in St. Elizabeth. He was speaking at the official opening of the Essex Valley Agro-Processing Facility, and he used the opportunity to speak on matters having to do with bureaucracy. And the Prime Minister says there's need for an increase in the productivity both on the bureaucracy front and the labor force.
So our attitude towards work needs to change. One of the biggest challenges we are having, tell me when you're ready for me to stop. I'm going to make a few more points. One of the largest challenges we face right now, the biggest challenge we face right now is employers are coming to me to say, Prime Minister, you have to do something about the shortage of labor. Now, there are two audiences hearing this statement. One audience is going to say, but no, so that's not true. And one audience is going to say, thank God he recognizes that there is a shortage. Because there are two different Jamaicas operating. There's one Jamaica who say, I'm not being paid enough, and therefore don't expect me to come work for that. And there's another Jamaica who is saying, why, there's so much possibility that I can get things done, but I just can't find the people. It is a problem in the society. We have looked at the issue. We have done as best as we can to raise the minimum wage. We are the only government to have consistently raised the minimum wage, and we have made certain commitments towards doing that, towards increasing wage levels, because we understand issues to do with cost of living. And just, people have a choice. People have a choice between work and leisure. Classic economic trade-off. And if people don't get proper wage, they will choose leisure. We understand that, so we're trying our best to increase wages without increasing inflation, which eats out the wage that everybody else gets. We're really, really trying to just gently move it up. But that is not going to be the solution to the problem. Right? The solution to the problem is to increase productivity. And so, this, what you see here, is a move on the part of the government to increase productivity. So I'm dealing with two things essentially. One, we have to increase the productivity of the public bureaucracy. And two, we have to increase the productivity of endeavors like these. Business, capital investment, and labor together. That's essentially what we have to do. So in projects like these, this is all about improving productivity of our farmers, but more so creating market efficiency. That's what we're doing here today. So I want you to understand this, and I went through all of this so that you appreciate the bigger thing that we're trying to do. Yes, we celebrate this. This is 1 in 20 that we need to build. And we should have built the 20 in the 10 years. So yes, I'm happy, but I'm also disappointed that we're not moving as fast as we should. And I know we have the potential to do it. And I also know that if we were to exhibit the capacity to convert funding and capital faster, we would get more support from our development partners. So I delivered this speech not to you. This speech was effectively delivered to the chairman of the PAAC. Because the chairman of the PAAC is on record making this very speech about public bureaucracy and slowness and all of that. But when he steps into the PAAC, totally different argument. Every I must be dotted and every T must be crossed and no concern about outcomes or context or anything like that. But that just shows you, it's just how we are. It's our democracy, and that's what makes us great. And it is what we will have to navigate in order to achieve the true destiny of greatness that God has bequeathed us as a people. Let us recognize that, and let us fulfill that. Let us become more efficient and more productive and do more of these so we can truly lift our people out of poverty and into prosperity. God.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness speaking there at the Essex Valley Agro-Processing Facility in St. Elizabeth yesterday. And while we were listening to the Prime Minister, somebody reached out to me and was telling me about a software that is to manage some assets that a particular agency is paying for, and that so far, the procurement has gone into 3 months just to pay for the software. And I was asking the person, how much longer do you think it might take? He said maybe another month or two. Just to pay, for the software. Yeah. Many examples out there of the different levels that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Many times to do things that we out here would look at and think, oh, so simple.
Well, I'll make 3 points on this, Donna. The first point is the system was in place for a particular reason, the way it is and how it is. 2, it turns out that we're trying to do projects faster, better, and how the system was made back then seemed to have worked back then, during that time. I am no expert on procurement, so I I don't know why the system is the way it is, but the persons who interact with the systems the most are complaining about the timeliness of the system, right? So obviously, the context has changed as it relates to the speed at which we want to get things done and how we want to get things done. And so my third and final point on this is, the way to navigate this has to be sitting back down with the experts now to say, one, how do we continue to ensure the same safeguards that we wanted to guard against initially? Because that has to be taken into consideration. You can't just be that we're, running to get things done properly. Remember, there was a problem in the first place as to why we are here and having these very strict procurement rules. There was a problem in the first place. So how do we continue to cure the mischief and cure that mischief, but get it with more speed? So it requires a better balance and thinning of the lines now, going back to the drawing board to say, okay, we understand the mischief. How do we keep, solving? How do we continue to maintain the integrity in the process, but do it at a faster pace? Does it mean that we need to have more people at the PPC? Is it that we need more capacity? Is it that we need to digitalize things more? What do we need to do? Because it might very well be a matter of operationalization. And again, just putting the questions out there, I'm no expert on this subject. It could be a matter of capacity, operationalization, or is it a matter of the strictures in the black and white? And how do we amend that?
Do you need all the layers that are there?
Or how do we amend those layers but still keep the protections that we sought for in the first place? Yeah, that is what it will come down to.
So should other things be categorized as well to meet an emergency threshold? Should that also be a part of the conversation? Because as I was mentioning earlier, when the Jamaica Constabulary Force interacted with the procurement authorities in relation to those 1,000 body-worn cameras to procure them under an emergency approach, they were told that it does not meet the threshold. So they have to go the longer route. And the longer route took like a year.
Indeed.
So there's that as well.
Yeah.
I pulled up an article about speed, as you were mentioning speed, and I remembered Ambassador Audrey Marks, who was appointed by the Prime Minister to treat with bureaucratic hurdles. And I pulled up this article that the JIS has from March 30, 2025. It says, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the municipal authorities will be the first to receive attention as the government moves to reduce bureaucratic hurdles under the streamlining processes for efficiency and economic development, for short, the SPEED program. Now, the Prime Minister says, I've appointed a minister, Ambassador Audrey Marks, to focus on that. Her mandate is to undertake a comprehensive review of Jamaica's governance arrangements, systems, and processes, and to implement targeted reforms across the whole of government that will eliminate inefficiencies, reduce bureaucracy, and enhance the ease and speed of doing business. And speed is a part of the broader effort to modernize the public sector and boost productivity. He said, noting that the objectives is to create an environment in which businesses can flourish. He said that many business people face bureaucratic hurdles, particularly in accessing permits and approvals, and the SPEED initiative will seek to eliminate those barriers. So now, based on the conversations we're having about bureaucratic hurdles, Said, it would be a good time for Ambassador Marks to provide us with an update about how SPEED is going.
But again, just to caution it, you can't have the speed at the expense of the protections that we sought in the first place under the rules. And so what has to happen now is we have to see how do we keep the protection and get things moving forward with better speed. Has to be a balance, yeah? And that's what we're saying.
Time now for Hot Listings.
It's time for Hot Listings, Nationwide 90FM's on-air classifieds, made for quick ads and fast results.
Pure Photography, professional photography services based in Kingston, capturing weddings, engagements, portraits, and special events with a focus on real moments, beautiful details, and timeless images. Contact us at 876-417-0635. That's 876-417-0635. Or visit purephotographyjamaica.com.
It's time for Hot Listings, Nationwide 90 FM's on-air classifieds, made for quick ads and fast results.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
a minute after 8.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Across Jamaica this Thursday morning, Thursday, February 5, 2026. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ is reminding employers that the government's tax relief on payments to employees for Hurricane Melissa financial support remains in effect until March 31. The measure allows for tax-free cash payments not exceeding $200,000 per employee. It's intended to provide meaningful financial support to employees as they undertake personal recovery and welfare efforts following the effects of the Category 5 storm. TAJ says payments may be made either as a one-off payment or as a series of payments over the 5-month period. The Ministry of Agriculture has committed $30 million to support egg farming at the College of Agriculture Science and Education CASE in Portland. The move is to help drive the resuscitation of the industry following Hurricane Melissa. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green says the funds are to be used to rebuild the hatchery and build a pullet house in order for Jamaica to produce more layers. The minister says over 400,000 birds were lost during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. That represents about 40% of the egg industry. The minister says Jamaica was for a long time self-sufficient in egg production, but the sector is now being significantly challenged by back-to-back weather events. To this end, he stated that the nation must build capacity and resilience. 2 unidentified males were shot and killed in Norwood St. James on Tuesday. Reports are they were gunned down by unknown assailants. The incident happened at 8:30 a.m. It's understood the men were in a yard at the time. And that's it for Across Jamaica.
Stepping confidently into a new year starts with one simple, powerful word. Yes! Say yes to new beginnings. Say yes to a secure future. Say yes to living the life you love with your family. With health and life insurance from Sagicor Life. We're here to give you the protection and peace of mind you deserve in 2026. All you have to do is say yes to what matters most. Call 888-SAGICOR to speak with an advisor today.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
Come into the parlor, there's a well
to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Those oldies but goodies reminds me of you.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. We have time for your calls and your comments in the YouTube chat area on the issues of the morning or other issues occupying your mind. The numbers 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-6730. I saw a lot of comments in the YouTube chat in relation to the One Road Authority. I see people commenting on issues having to do with bureaucracy, and I do see issues as comments as well having to do with issues of productivity and people who are employers having challenges finding employees. I see micro business here saying, for 2 months now, I've been trying to hire a cashier and can't find one who truly wants to work. Yeah.
Well,
so micro business. Hot Listings is a perfect place to put your ad. So you're searching for a cashier. Yeah, man. Reach out to our sales department here. Our number is 630-1210. Reach out to us. Place it on Hot Listings. Perhaps that might help you to find a cashier at your company. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I see Everbless Otis here saying, in relation to the One Road Authority and road work, saying, Ton, I'm tired of seeing road repairs, and 1 month after, it's worse than before. Yeah, that's the cry of a lot of people. Yeah, some shoddy work done now, and then a month later, as the motorist said yesterday, too good shower rain, and going back to where it was. Gerald Edwards says, put a maintenance clause in the contract so that the contractor is responsible for the road for 2 years. If anything goes wrong with the road surface, I can speak of this subject because it's your area of expertise. That is done in a lot of instances where there is that clause, a maintenance clause. So anything goes wrong with the road for a particular period, the contractor has to come back and do the repairs. I see Leroy Rotty says, Tana, look like you have faith more than Job or roads. And the repairs are in the hands of either some novices in high offices or some children in kindergarten. I cry for Jamaica. Yeah, some of the time, Said, when you see the people who are carrying out the road repairs, you're wondering, who sent you out here?
What do you mean?
Meaning men in shorts and cut off shorts and t-shirts.
Oh, you know, I would even watch that because they are construction men. That's how construction men dress.
But when you go back and look at what they've done, though, Saeed,
well, yeah,
it looks shoddy.
That's an entirely different matter.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
like who contracted you?
The contractors.
Who is supervising? No,
contractors.
But who is the contractor? That's what I'm saying.
The contractor is
who is supervising you, right? Who's supervising you? And came back and said, oh yeah, this was done properly. Mm-hmm. You walk away with your pay. This is the shoddy work that's out there, and a month later it dig up again. What's the point? That's a waste of asphalt, marl, and whatever else was used, and the taxpayers' money. Makes no sense.
So who we need to be targeting and talking to are the contractors. those who are signing the subcontract or the contract, they're the ones that are to ensure that the men who we see, they
know what they're doing.
Exactly. They should ensure that they know what they're doing. And if it's not done properly, they should mandate, no, go back, go fix it, go do it properly. But what happens, I think, is that the contractors themselves say, well, all right, yeah, it do. Because at the end of the day, even when they send back their workers to fix it, it is more time and more money for the contractors. And so it might be a cost cutting or, holding on to the penny purse so that they get a higher profit margin at the end of the day. Right? So that I'm not even looking at the men with the cut off pants and the spliff over their ears doing the work. They're not my concern. My concern are the contractors who are supposed to ensure that their workmen are doing the work properly. And if their workmen don't do it properly, then they must send them back to do it. But what happens is the contractor don't want to have to pay them to do over the work and don't want to have to pay to buy more material to get the job done, because that affects his profit margin.
And people might be thinking as well, more money for me, because when it dig up again next month, more money for me to go back and because I get another contract to go back and fix the same roads that were not fixed properly the other day. See Andre Miller JA asking, what are the qualifications for the workmen who get hired under these road works contracts? Yeah, we have a call on the line. JA?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I want to go very slowly and this just I don't sound stupid. I have a burning issue about 2 or 3 months ago. Now that we are on social media, right? The things that I highlighted now, it was there long years ago, those things that happening for years. And I'm coming back to the hospital. In 1994, I was in the hospital to have my child. I didn't have it. Those who were paying for everything in the hospital. When I spent 10 days there with a young baby. When I'm ready to get discharged, I say I have to pay $20,000. I say I don't have it, Then say, well, you cannot register the baby, or you cannot come out unless you pay half the money. Anyway, I go back to my bed and lie down thinking, you know what I have to do to get out of that hospital? 4 o'clock in the morning, I have to call one of the ward assistants, ask if she can take my bag and basin downstairs for me. She said, what it is? I said, just take it downstairs for me. After she take it downstairs, I pack up, at that time I pack up my things already. I just take the baby and come out of the hospital, because there is no way I'm going to find that $20,000. And I have to go and register the baby elsewhere at the people that not register the baby at home delivery. So what is happening, Tana, in the hospital, or what all doctor does, is an hypocrite, because he was at a certain hospital and see the condition there and him criticized. I remember the days when 2 mothers is on a bed. So nothing new is happening now in the hospital that wasn't happening 20, 30 years ago. You understand? It's only because they're on social media now and things can be highlighted now. Why people know what is happening. To register $300, if you don't have the $300, you cannot register, you're not going to see a doctor. To get drip, $500. Injection, $500. So I don't know what the health thing is very good now. If I was to pay for my medication now, it would cost me $8,000 per month. Yeah? And sometimes what we just have to do, suppose we have a medication for a month, we have to break it down to all 1 week. Suppose the medication is for $3,000. We have to break it down to $500. So we may get 6 tablets or 7 tablets. So I hope the public is listening that what is happening now usually happens worse in the hospital, but only because social media now and everything now, your TikTok, YouTube, we suffer at the hospital for years. My mother was to do an eye surgery and it was $14,000. I didn't have it and she couldn't do it because I tell them only have half, and then said, no, we have to pay it full. And that was in 2005. Yeah, 2005. So we are living better up in the hospital. We are better up at hospital. People sleeping on benches, people dying. Those usually happen. People sleeping on chairs for 2-3 days on benches. That was happened years ago in the hospital. But there wasn't nothing or anybody to highlight these things. And Mr. Dawes know that these things usually happen in the hospital that he usually works. Because he usually criticize it most of the time. So we are just being hypocritical and not truthful and in denial.
So J.A., you're saying this morning that you have experienced improvements.
We have experienced improvement, a lot of improvements. No, we can't go in the hospital. If we cannot find the $300 in the morning, we can't go to the hospital. Because we can't even find the $300. And if we're going to get, we have to look and say, maybe they're going to give you drip. That is another $300-400. We don't have $1,000 this morning. So we have to stay home.
Yeah.
And we can't go there no freely and get everything. So the free health is one of the most, the best thing that could happen to us in Jamaica, because the health comes first.
Yes.
I hear they criticizing people sleeping on the bench. I usually work in the hospital and I will identify what category usually work at the hospital. I've seen these things. I work at Lionel Town Hospital, and if you go down to that ward at Lionel Town, I worked there for 3 years and didn't know there was a ward down the bottom. Because I see people live in the passage, 30 people when you go down there. I was wondering if this is what a human being or animal at the Lionel Town Hospital. So I want people to listen and say, these things is not new to you guys, Tana, because you're not in the public for going to the public hospital. But these things usually happen.
Yeah.
It always happens.
So,
and even worse.
So so J.A., if you could point to an area that requires a bit more improvement in the healthcare sector, whether it be the hospital or the health centers, what would you point to this morning?
Well, let's be honest with you, in the hospital, yeah? Especially hospital, I won't call that name. In the delay, you go there 7 o'clock in the morning, they may call it, so they have a thing in customer care. They may register 7:30. Doctor may come and call it 10 o'clock. Nurse call it 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you don't see a doctor again till maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. That's the only improvement I want in the hospital, or the long delay. I've seen a doctor. That's the most improvement I would love to see in the hospital. I don't have experience in other hospitals, but that's certain hospital, the area that I come from. You have to, first when you go in there, say, man, it's an old thing. The other day I hear somebody say, I know we want to live at the hospital when the doctor wants us to live there. You understand? So that's the biggest issue now in the hospital. The crowd, the overcrowded hospital, and the hours we have to wait to see a doctor. Yeah? Sometimes when we see a doctor, we can't even get vehicle to go home, and we are there from 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
That is my experience. So there's nothing new that is happening in the hospital that wasn't happening. Nothing. I can give you another example. Just very medical. I was at that same hospital once, and a machine came in there. It was an ultrasound machine. And the machine came to the back door at the hospital. I'm talking of experience at here, so I was standing there in the section that I work. And when the machine came in and they pushed in, and a van come and take up the machine, and they went through the back gate. A worker there said to somebody has come on and asked them, where the machine will just come in. And a worker said, it's gone back in the van. And a sister said to the individual, shut your mouth, you chat too much. So
what happened with the machine?
It come out back where it went, I don't know about it. When the machine come to the public hospital, another van came and I was standing there. Take up the machine and it went through a back gate. And when another authority from the hospital come and ask, where is the machine that was coming? A worker said, it's gone into a van. A sister said to her, shut your mouth, you chat too much. I hear with my own ears. It's not nobody tell me I'm hear with my own ears. So a lot of things is going on in the hospital that the Ministry of Health don't know. So the hospital blocking is we the people causing all these burning issues and separation. We the people, because we're not being fair and honest. And I could go on. Yeah?
Well, thank you so much for your intervention this morning, J.A.
Yeah, that's why I say I feel like, and no, if we have social media those years, would see that these things are not new and it's burned out on here. They're saying they're sitting in chair 3 days. They don't have any bed 3 days. They don't have, the other day I have to threaten. Then I tell them, say, I don't get any bed. I was to be admitted in the hospital. And I say, if I don't get any bed, I'm going to spread up the bed on the floor. And they trying to beg keep me.
Yeah.
So there's nothing new in the hospital. These things been going on for years. Years upon years. But social media now, you can't take pictures, you can't tell what is happening. I heard they say baby sleeping, a young baby born and sleep and chair. That's a big lie. Big lie. Oh, young baby to sleep on chair and if they don't have any bed for the matter, they have the baby inside where they were born.
Yeah.
Yeah? But
thanks so much, J.A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just thought I hope a lot of people can hear and attest to what I'm saying, that I'm not telling a lie.
Many of them are commenting in the YouTube chat and agreeing with you. Thank you so much for your intervention this
morning.
Of course,
yeah. Okay, and thanks for listening and your patience.
Not a problem. I see someone here saying that them take up the machine side and carry gun at private practice. Yeah. I remember speaking on issues having to do with working machines in hospitals, side, because I had an experience too where when I had appendicitis, and I came in as an emergency patient from my private practitioner with a letter and everything. And they were saying that I needed to do an ultrasound, but they're sending me, an emergency patient with an inflamed appendix, down the road to do an ultrasound at a private doctor down the road because they're saying that the machine in the hospital is not working. And it's this thing of you have to know people in hospitals where it shouldn't have to be that case, because my mom was suspicious about what they were saying. So she called up people that she knew in the hospital, and they came down and said, no, the machine is working and the doctors are on there ready to see patients.
Wow.
And I'm saying that's wickedness. I came in with an inflamed appendix, that is an emergency case, and you're sending this patient out of the facility down the road.
Wow.
And my mom was thinking, okay, so who's benefiting from that arrangement? Somebody's benefiting from that arrangement when the doctor is around there and the machine is working. So if she never made noise and didn't have people in the hospital that she knew, what would have happened in that situation,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just an example. How many others out there have experienced something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Rose, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I must say that the Prime Minister's intervention or his speech is very, very timely, and I share my experience with you. On the 20th of September, I had there was a water leak right in front of my house, right by the driveway. I waited until the 26th to get help, and this help was done by a relative of me, and they contacted a regional manager to see if because she was in charge of that area of the operation. It is now the 5th of February, and the hole, a very deep hole, is in front of my driveway. I cannot, when I'm driving in, my car is being damaged. I tried to call Water Commission, and I was put on to 4 different departments, and no one answered.
No one answered?
No one answered. It was plant manager, control, and 2 other areas. That was, and no one answered. I went down there, it was reported, and I spoke with Mr. Morris at control last Friday, and up to now I have not gotten a response. And why I'm bringing this to your attention, I just go stage by stage of this simple situation, the inconvenience, and how it is affecting productivity. First of all, one, the telephone calls that I have to sit and make. 2, me leaving my house, going down to the Water Commission. That's time from my job, and this is affecting productivity. The amount of traffic that is on the road that people can't get through on the telephone, they have to leave their place of abode and drive down. That is traffic, and it is affecting productivity. And this morning, I'm hoping that the Prime Minister hears and put measures in place. I'm very glad that Minister Marks is doing something about bureaucracy. But it doesn't start there. It starts in the institution. And I think that a big overhaul has to be done at the Water Commission. Now, if you dig up a place in September, you should, first of all, with the level of rain, say you don't have the material, because at one stage they told me that because the asphalt company had closed. This is why for Christmas they don't have it. But that was from September. Now, a simple method would be you dig up somebody's house, especially right in front of their driveway. There must be a time lag to go back, and if you don't have the material, put some more mall in there.
Absolutely.
And I'm calling on Minister, what's his name, Minister?
Morgan?
Samuda is not Minister.
Water.
Water Commission. You, Minister Samuda, you are projecting yourself as being very efficient. So I'm calling on you this morning to look into, first of all, the telephone system. People not answering, because when I went down there, the customer service was trying to get in touch with the department. And they couldn't, the phone rang without an answer for about 5 minutes. So I had to leave, and I experienced the same thing. Something has to be done.
What area is it again, Rose?
It is in Meadowbrook Estate.
Meadowbrook Estate. And they dug up the area when?
Right. They dug up the 20th of September.
September 20.
September 20.
And up to today, February 5.
February 5.
No work.
No, nothing. Nothing. And if I go down there tomorrow, they might have to go lock me up, because I'm not leaving until I can get a definite time. Because this is foolishness.
Yeah.
And Mr. Samuda, could you please look into these things? And until employees perform their function, the problem will never be solved.
Miss Rose, please hold the line. Please hold the line. Our producer is going to take your information so we can pass it on to the NWA. Their communications
person. I called
Nora
the other day, and up to now, nothing. So I don't know if you'll be able to help me.
We're definitely going to try. We're definitely going to try.
20th of September, and Minister Samuda this morning, I hope that somebody hears. Water Commission needs to be overhauled, or as the Prime Minister, in his quest for efficiency, will never succeed.
Heard you on that one, Miss Rose. Stay on the line.
Never succeed.
Stay on the line, Miss Rose.
Yes.
Come on now. September, October, November, December, January, and it's now February 5. So we're in the 6th month. And nothing has been done. She called, she has been transferred from one person to the next person to the next person, and nobody picked up, so much so that she had to leave off of her work and other things that she was doing, Saeed, and go to the NWA, and still no one has responded. Them dig up the road in front of the lady house from September. No, man. NWA, we're calling you guys out this morning. NWA, National Water Commission, your workmen, your personnel need to go to Miss Rose's address. She said she's in Meadowbrook Estate. You can call Nationwide if it is that you need more information, or producer is getting more information from her, and go address that issue. It's way overdue now, man. September 20 and today is February 5. Do something about that now.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:30.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside is
27 in Kingston, 26 in Montego Bay, and 21 in Mandeville.
You think you're getting the full Nationwide experience now? You just wait. The Family Club is coming soon.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Good morning, Jamaica. Welcome back to Data Protection Matters, and I am your host, Chuka Emeka Cameron. On Tuesday, we busted some myths about the DPO role. If you missed it, here is your 5-minute catch-up. So what does a data protection officer actually do? First, what they are not. A DPO is not a lawyer buried in documents. They are not your IT support resetting passwords. A DPO makes sure your organization handles personal data confidently, compliantly, and without losing sleep. They do 4 essential things. Number 1, continuous monitoring. The Jamaica Data Protection Act isn't a one-time checkbox. It is ongoing. Regulations evolve, your business changes, new products, new partnerships. Each creates new questions. A DPO keeps watch. They track the landscape. They spot gaps before they become problems. You would not check your bank account once a year, would you? Data protection needs the same attention. Number 2, advising on new projects. Every new product or campaign touches personal data. Can we collect this? How long do we keep it? Do we need consent? A good DPO embeds privacy from day one, not as a blocker, but as an enabler. When privacy is an afterthought, launches get delayed and money gets spent on unnecessary fixes. Involve your DPO early. Ship faster, ship with confidence. Number 3, regulator liaison. Nobody wants a call from the Information Commissioner. But when it comes, you want someone who speaks their language. A DPO is your official contact. They know how to respond. They demonstrate good faith. Building this relationship before problems arise pays dividends later. Number 4, training your team. Your biggest risk isn't hackers. It is well-meaning employees who don't understand the rules. The accidental email to the wrong person. The spreadsheet shared too widely. The shortcut taken because proper process seemed slow. Good people, honest mistakes, because nobody taught them better. A DPO builds awareness into your culture, transforms rules into habits. What do organizations say after working with a DPO? Well, albeit a good DPO. I did not realize how exposed we were. We were winning contracts because we can demonstrate compliance. I actually sleep better at night. The DPO role is not bureaucracy. It is visibility, control, and confidence. The question isn't whether you need data protection expertise. It's whether you want it working proactively or reacting after damage is done. Join our free webinar. Visit designprivacy.io. That is designprivacy.io. I am your host, Chuka Emeka Cameron. We believe in data privacy rights, profit, and peace of mind. Have a great Thursday.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:36.
Nationwide has always been a family. Now we're making it official. Family Club coming soon.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
It's 8:38. Thank you so much for staying with us. Ground Nation 2026 is officially open. The Jamaica Music Museum in the heart of Kingston turns its gaze once again to the enduring journey of the African spirit with the 2026 edition of Ground Nation, its flagship public education series. This year, under the theme African to Jamaican, Music and Creolized Black Culture, the series invites reflection on the resilience of African heritage as it transforms, adapts, and blossoms into the vibrant expressions that shape Jamaican socio-cultural identity. Over 4 Sundays in February, within the storied walls of the Institute of Jamaica, Ground Nation 2026 encourages the restoration of Africa's centrality to the Caribbean's cultural memory. For more, we are joined by Director of the Jamaica Music Museum, Sir Herbie Miller. Good morning. Oh, okay, we're having a bit of technical difficulty there. So, as you know, it is Reggae Month, and one of the staples, as you call it, of Reggae Month is Ground Nation. And Herbie Miller, he is the director of the Jamaica Music Museum, which is, settled there in the heart of Kingston. So, we'll find out what Ground Nation is all about, when it will be had, what can we expect, the usual stuff. But certainly the theme, interesting theme, African to Jamaican, music and creolized black culture. Music and creolized black culture. the series that invites reflection on the resilience of the African people and how does that shape our Jamaican society going forward. So we're due to talk to Herbie Miller where that is concerned. And of course, once you mention, from African to Jamaican, you're contemplating, you're looking at the Middle Passage and, what that crossing meant and how that crossing has shaped history. Some might call it a bridge, but some might call it a drowning or a slow moving across the Atlantic. And, how does those African memories take root? How does it take root and form our Jamaican socio-cultural identity, which basically makes us who we are? Yes? So that's what it is. And I'm being told that it will be a 4-part series. So Africa Calls, Jamaica Answers, reuniting the African nation, and Africa Roots, Jamaican Fruits, and that's from folk town traditions to cultural arts. And then of course Pan-Africanism, which is the Nyabingi and the Ska, which forms the foundation, they say, of the black consciousness. And the 4th one being Jamaican to the world, reggae, Rastafari, and Jamaican popular culture. Together, they say, the sessions explore African retention in Jamaican cultural life, from folk traditions and rituals such as Kumina, revivalism, and Mento, to the rise of Pan-African consciousness, Nyabingi rhythms, ska, and reggae, while also reflecting on Jamaica's global cultural impact and the ways Rastafari and Jamaican music have shaped spiritual, political, and popular culture worldwide. So the presenters, we're told, will include Professor Rosalia Hamilton, Salwa Holloway, and Basil Baga Wilson. Performers comprise the Jam Orchestra, Lakatko, the United Caribbean Dance Force, they are, and the Super Sad Drummers. They are all to be expected as performances there. So the Jamaica Music Museum, they consider music and the arts in general as important conveyors of historical, sociological, and anthropological knowledge. They are portrayals of the journey that has brought us to the point and beyond in entertainment, the best of the arts, and they are valuable to one's identity as the lessons are learned in the classrooms. So, Ground Nation 2026, those are the things that they'll be covering. And of course, Ground Nation is open to the public and it takes place at the Institute of Jamaica Lecture Hall, that's 10 to 16 East Street in Kingston, each Sunday on February 1. So it's happened already, but it continues on February 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd of 2026. So the annual gathering of Ground Nation, you can go every Sunday on the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulty with Herbie Miller there, so I've given you the information as best as possible. We go to the break.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:44.
is running out, but we need no one not to cry nor shout. Change them who've gone astray and show them the way, come on. Make this an everlasting example. We pray, come on, yeah. Marcus Garvey prophesied, say, oh yeah, man, I go fighting back against the wall. Yeah, it a go bitter when the right time comes. Lord, some a go charge for treason, and when the right time comes, some a go charge for us, and when the right time comes, some a go charge for murder, and when the lawman comes, some a go run to them tumble, and when the pastor comes, him a go quote the scripture. Swallow field, I go be now the battlefield, yeah. Not to go to level, run away. No, no, no. Not to go to level, run away. Oh, no, no. Against your pride. Oh, let my go. Against your pride. Oh, let my go. Come along, yeah, and dig my song. Too much wagonist, too much antagonist. Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. Yes, wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. Yeah, too much informers, too much steel bearers. Too much informers, too much steel bearers. Time to separate the sheep from the wolves. We're at the crossroads, and this is the time of decision. Too much informers, too much steel bearers. Too much informers, too much steel bearers, yeah. Whoa, yeah. You seek of only vanity and no love for humanity. Fade away, fade away. He who checks for only wealth and not for his physical health shall fade away, fade away. Though some believe in diamonds and pearl and feel like they're on top of the world, they shall fade away. Hear what I say. The rich is getting richer every day, and the little that the poor man got.
That time of the morning where we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Let's see who's celebrating a birthday or an anniversary today. Happy birthday greetings going out to Sage Ray Hines, a VVIB, and it's your sweet 16, Sage Ray Hines. Happy birthday to you. Coming from your mom, Marva, Auntie Sharona, Brother Connie, Granddad Mandy, and all the family, saying to you they love you, grow in grace, and be blessed. So happy birthday, Sage. Over on Facebook, happy birthday greetings going out to Andrea Graham, Kelly Dawn Hamilton, Kamik Stewart, Jodian Nephew, Chazine Newland, Shree Simpson, Suzette Harper, and who else is here? Keisha Landell and Chelsea Anadine Mitchell. Happy birthday to all of you. Wishing for you a lovely day. Also celebrating today, extra special birthday greetings going out to Kimberly Atkinson Gardner, who celebrated her birthday yesterday. So belated extra special birthday greetings going out to Kimberly. Greetings are coming from your husband, Andre, your sister, and your mom, and your other relatives and friends. And they're saying, we know you had an absolutely amazing day, Kim. Continue to enjoy. So belated happy birthday greetings going out to Kimberly Atkinson Gardner. Who else is on the BJ list? Who else is celebrating a birthday today? Do let us know.
In his heart shall fade away. God is near and everywhere, and his eyes are watching you. You gon' fade away. Yeah, gon' fade. Oh, talk about love. It's hard to build a better nation with different races. When every day you awoke, there are new faces. No brotherly love, no sisterly love, for there are none. And nothing to erase from each line, horrible traces. Yet they talk about love, they talk about love. Yet they talk about love, 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 sweet love. Fight for more power, brotherly love. But it's easier to write a story in a long hour. Brotherly love, no godly love, but there is always a daily grace. And it took a miracle to put love into hatred. Yet they talk about love, they talk about love. Yes, they talk about love, 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 sweet love. Listen. Oh, yeah. Talk about love. It's hard to build a better nation with different races.
Some more birthdays here. Gail Porter sending, or Gail Porter, it is your birthday today. Gail Porter, celebrating your big one today. Happy birthday to you, Gail. Wishing for you a lovely day. Angela Stewart sending happy birthday greetings. This one says to her only daughter, Janelle Stewart, celebrating her birthday today. Greetings coming from mom, dad. So happy birthday to you, Janelle. Janelle Stewart from your mom and dad, Angela Stewart and Daddy Stewart. And Alicia Tyndale saying, I would like to wish my dear nephew, Atiko, hope I'm pronouncing that right, Alicia Atiko, a happy birthday. Auntie loves you. Enjoy your special day. So happy birthday to you. And Dawn Beckford is sending happy birthday greetings. Oh, Dawn, it is your birthday. Dawn says happy birthday to Dawn Beckford. Hey to you, Dawn, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you an amazing one.
Searching for morning from a golden end. Got a little girl at home. She wake up this morning. She didn't eat no breakfast, no. She wake up this morning, she no eat no breakfast. She leave out home and she faint in the life is one big road with a lot of sign. One big road with a lot of sign. Sign and both sides. Come on, come on. Life is one big road with a lot of sign. Sign and both sides. I'm gonna make up my mind to face reality all the
Jermaine,
time. Whoa.
if you can, find me the Maxi Priest that you think is the best one. As we continue, here's your challenge. That's your challenge. That's your challenge. as we continue to observe Reggae Month. So this morning, we're also going to feature Maxi Priest as we close out Nationwide this morning. So the Musical Maestro's challenge is to find me what he believes is the best Maxi Priest.
Mm-hmm.
The best one. And he says Maxi Priest. For sure. Hold on.
Don't go.
Sean.
Now that I've lost everything to you, you say you wanna start something new, and it's breaking my heart to leave. Baby, I'm grieving, but if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you find a lot of nice things to wear, but then a lot of nice things turn bad out there. Oh, baby, it's a wide world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile, girl. Oh, baby, it's a wide world. I long to be like a child, girl.
Mr. King, really? At 8:57? You're gonna do that? Oh, come on. That have to play out a little bit today. That has to play out. No, I'm not the ops, I promise you.
She was a Jezebel, this Brixton queen, living a life like a backstreet queen, telling my lies when the truth was clear. I think she knew what I wanted to hear, spinning around like a wheel on fire, walking on tightrope and love's highway. Fatal attraction is where I'm at, there's no escaping me. I just wanna be close to you. You are the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you and show you the way I feel. I feel love when I'm lying in the midnight hour, holding you just like a dream. Love is never what it seems when we touch, and you're holding me the way you do. Girl, you made my dreams come true. You make my dreams come true. I just wanna be close to you.
There's only one musical maestro. One.
You're hurting on us. They say I'm hurting on us. You just can't take it anymore. Your friends say I'm no good for you.
Oh my goodness. But I told you, Mr. King, that I'm not an ops. I'm a neutral party. I'm a neutral party in the Mayor Desmond McKenzie clash versus Jermaine and George. I'm a neutral party, okay? Just a little bit
longer, baby, but my love keeps growing stronger. A little more time to say, but in my head a love song plays.
You see what you did now, Jermaine? So everybody calling for the collab with Maxi and Shabba. We'll close out with that one. So that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning, NTM. Thanks so much to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King. Thanks to our super producer, Michelle McCray Smith, and our super editor in the newsroom, Kimon Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tana.
I'm Saeed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I can tell you wanted you. Why do you wanna hide the way you feel inside?
You
just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Little touch, it means so much. Girl, just let me show you how. Your body can't lie to me, 'cause I know just what you need. And your body can't lie to me. So let me just say for you.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.